Hi. There is an important video that some of you may need to see. I know some of you will have seen it because I seen it a couple of days ago. I don't think I've shared it. Um, when we've been talking about cycles and energies and all this and entities and letting go of stuff and letting go of inside you so you can heal from past traumas because everything's to do with trauma-based programming. Hi Alison. This is a really important video to go and see. Like I said, some of you will have seen it, but this is for the people who haven't. Even if they don't, they need to watch it from the beginning to the end. And it also shows you, hi Alchemy of Life, hi Mark, hi Alison. It also shows you about the Joker film, and what the Joker film is. And it is about trauma, and it is about abuse to children, and it is about how a child grows up to be a psychopath, because he's taught that's the way to be. We're not all like that, but this is an important message, and there's 7 there, so I know it is, of how the other side work. They believe that's the right way because they've been brought up that way. But can you imagine when the what hits the fan in the 3D? All the people like the guy saying on here on SGT report, if you've been in trauma or abused or something and all that comes out, you come off your antidepressants, whatever, can you imagine how mad everybody's going to be? They're going to go a bit psychotic, a lot of chaos. So this is a serious message, you know, because like I said, it's not all love and light all the time, but this is the whole process in cycles and us healing and why we're supposed to be healing going into 2020 vision of what's really been going on. So you need to heal yourself so you can cut those ties to that. Hi, Dave. You know, yeah, children learn what they live. And this side of these people can call it satanic and all that. Hi, Revisited, Revolution Revisited, think it's the way because they're taught that. A lot of us know what's going on with that side. A lot of people are still asleep to it. A lot of people are getting onto it. But it's a really important video to go and watch, whether you believe it or not, because it's still in both realms. It's healing on both sides. It is a spiritual war as well because they're trying to take the spirit out of you by traumatizing children, and then they grow up to traumatize their children, and it's a cycle. It's a cycle because it's not being cut. That's what the Joker film's about. Also goes into a bit of why Hitler turned out the way he did, but it all makes sense. Wasn't really his fault, was it? I work with children 5 days a week. I can assure you, if you can get them to heal while they were young, and the adult life will be different. Exactly, Alchemy of Life, and this is why they do it to young children with that side that we know about what's going on. With those bloodlines, that's what they do. You get them young, and they carry the cycle on. Fact. So just saying, because I think this is important for people to go and see and to realize all the stuff we've been talking about on my channel, on other people's channel, on truthing channels, all about the healing. This is another reason why as well. So yeah, granddad energy. I'm going to be on tonight talking about all that, Dave. So please go and check out SGT report, and it's entitled "The Next Massive Disclosure Will Shock the World." It doesn't shock us that no, and it's 11-1 there, so there we go, validation again. It's not a shock to those who are awake or getting on the path of knowing what the 3D is about, but people do need to share it. Hi, Angelica. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to put this important message out because we know that's the 3D, but it is still linked up with, it's a reflection. Yeah, SGT report is a reflection of what's going on. We've been talking about cutting cycles in the 3D, what's about to come out with the trauma-based. There's a lot of people who are healing from the trauma-based, and they know, and that's why they've got people in such depression and stuff, because when it does kick off, they want it like The Purge, the film, don't they? So, just saying, please check out SGT report. I've not watched the newish one that's gone out, but I will be doing. Hi James. Yeah, I'm feeling upbeat today. It took a lot of energy out of me, that. So that one is SGT report. The next massive disclosure will shock you. It goes through, like, they had a fight to put the Joker film out, but if you can see what you can see, and the guy talks about it because he was traumatized and abused as a child, you will see why it's so important that you need to cut your cords with your trauma, because I've said this before, you take it into another cycle, you start repeating patterns, and it carries on and carries on, and then it carries on to cycles. Basically, that's why we're trying to cut our cycles of old patterns and old programming, because it's programming. The next one of that of 16 hours ago that I will be watching while I'm cleaning up, because that's what I'm doing. This is it. This is what they're hiding. I was just talking to my dad before, and he was saying, "Oh, do you know they're starting talking about entities?" I went, "Yes, Dad. Energies and entities, what we say." And then as I was in the shop, I just saw Ray stood there, as in, out of Star Wars, the cardboard cut out for the film, the new one that's coming out in December, and it just made me laugh. And then he said something about, we were talking about Trump and Star Wars, and I started laughing again, because then I saw a big astronaut on the side of a van. It just made me laugh. But yeah, watch the latest SG. That's what I mean. I mean, we all know about this. And I said to my dad, well, this is like when Q put the whole thing out about armor of God. This is it. Entities are real, energies are real. That's why they try to bring you down in a low vibration, because it messes with you. On the 3D world, it's still flipped around to this side as well. I will be on tonight to talk about what was done in my BQH session with the lovely Shane, and now it's 17, and how everything's mirrored on the other side, and how we're the bridge, and how a lot of that last night in that chat, looking at it again with the Manana, the Indian, Native American Indian, shamanism, a lot to do with my granddad there as well, as in things we used to watch as a kid. I talked a lot about the light and the ripple effect, like a rainbow. We are the rainbow bridge. We are the bridge to both worlds. We are the bridge that will heal Gaia, because we've been harming her. But I will talk about that tonight. So, it was all there. And a guy that I'm just watching now, a Native American Indian guy, it just all makes sense with what I was saying anyway. We are all shamans. Those indigenous tribes are not just from, some people go Native Americans or in Africa or wherever it was. No, we all had indigenous from every country, everywhere. Those that hold the wisdom of Earth, in different countries, they're called different things. You got, the witch doctors in Native American Indians, also in Africa, in all sorts of different places, they were called different things, but it's those indigenous that kept them traditions on, not their traditions, the ones of earth and herbalism and, holistic stuff and the way of the stars and all that good stuff is what's coming back. And they're the people that they tried to kill off. Hi, Roxanne, that's why in the East, they have tried to keep a lot of their traditions, and that's why the West is trying to shut it down, because it's those sort of indigenous that have kept the ongoing of like meditation, holistic medicine, the way of the stars, this, that, and the other. But it's all coming back because we're realizing the other stuff isn't doing us any good. So, hi, Kath, Welsh Babe, Roxanne the Globalist now, all that stuff. It is to do with God's source. It is to do with channeling the light, and it heals people. So we'll be shouting out some channels tonight, and a lovely Native American Indian guy that was on one of the channels that I shouted out the other day. But that all makes sense to me. Totally makes sense. And I'm laughing at these earrings today because my mum gave me these ages ago, and they're like little raindrops on the end, and they've got blue in, like little raindrops. So I will be going through my session tonight at 9 o'clock. We've got to keep it 9 because it's 9 divine, it's feminine 9. That's why it's called 9. In the feminine that is coming back. And I'll just see what comes out. But basically, as we keep saying, balance has to come back. Mother Earth is beautiful and more powerful than we give her credit for. She is. She's healing. I said that the other day. She's healing, but when we heal, she heals as well, because then obviously people want to take care of the earth like the indigenous people did, like the Native American Indians. They were caretakers of earth. They didn't buy lands and grab lands. They were just nurturing it and passing it on to their children's children, and they did the same thing. And they didn't take too much, like we've took too much. And the West has been greedy, and that's why the East would be like, what are the West doing, if you sort of get what I'm saying. So they didn't stamp out all the indigenous, thank God. They didn't stamp out all those sort of knowings and hidden things. They were hidden for a reason, so they couldn't get them. They've not all been stamped out. So yeah, there is entities and energies going about, and we're starting to see that there's, like I said, the Great Awakening's more than a lot of people know, and life is not what we're taught. Reality is not what we're taught. It's all back to front and upside down. So yeah, 9 is regenerative. Yeah, it's what did I say today? It's when you've cut your cycles and you've cleared it, then you've got like the end result of it. Can't find the right word. Yeah, the battle is real. It's very, very real. And the more I look into what I was saying on Shane's channel, the more and more it made sense. It didn't quite at the time, but it does now. I don't trust all on the TV channel Gaia. Well, I didn't mention the TV channel Gaia, but the TV channel Gaia has got truth in it. But don't forget, anywhere that's doing great and they're putting truth out, little bits of cackle get put in there, but it doesn't mean it's not telling the truth. It's got a lot in there. I resonate with bits that I resonate. I can what? Yeah, thank you, Alchemy of Life. Gaia mixes truth with lies. They all mix truth with lies. You've got to discern it for whatever the word is for yourself. NASA does. It doesn't mean that NASA's lying about absolutely everything, certain things. It's just they word it different and mix things up and take pictures and say it looks like this when it doesn't. But you'll know because you'll resonate with it. I can watch, for example, I can watch a Gaia channel because my sister was going, have you seen the Gaia channel? I'm like, yeah, Dr. Dispenza's on that. But I said, yeah, but some of it I'll sit there and go, yeah, they might have mentioned a certain name for something or this, that, and the other. And I'm like, nah, but the rest of it will resonate. So it's just your own sort of perceptions and stuff. So it's not meaning that, like, some people go, I'm not watching it, and they switch off totally to it. And it's like, truth and lies all mixed up. You will resonate with it. Yeah, it's discernment. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. So don't worry too much about that. The fact is, we've all been lied to. And this is why 2020, I'll be talking about tonight. It's cycles in yourself that I'm banging on about. If you can't see the patterns in your own life, you're going to keep repeating them. And then you're going to wonder why you're having crappy times in 2020, 2021, 2022, because you regurgitating what you were doing before. There's no point sitting there going, yeah, I agree, yeah, I'm looking at that, when you're not actually looking at your cycles back in the past. The only way you can look to the future, in a sense, is it's not dwelling on the past. Like I said, if you're in depression, it's you're thinking too much of the past, like you're staying in it, you're basically staying in that cycle, you're staying in it. The future's anxiety because you're thinking too much of the future. It's like you can look, but you've got to cut the ties, and then you'll see where them circles have been coming back in and been looping. Be careful about Gaia TV. There is some dark energy overload in the studio. Yeah, the guy running it is now self-fulfilling, much good, but Newer is infused with darkness. Yeah, exactly. And I know exactly where you're coming from. That's what I was trying to say with, there's certain things going on, like people say Netflix is bad, and a certain show that went out about the shape of the earth. Yes, we know about it. We know about Netflix, but it doesn't mean it's all lies. They try and twist stuff. And that's why I said you have to go with your own discernment and your own resonating if something's vibing. So it's not like believing everything that's on there, or certain people come in that act like they're all in with the good and all that, but really they're just trying to turn people off to another path, a bit like Alex Jones was doing, just saying. That's what's going on. They see anything good, like the hippie movement in the 60s, the new age that was coming up again, which is really the old age. But then that's why I say you've got to be careful with new age people talking about stuff, because they can get sent to a different path, because anything that they see is good, they try and twist it to send you down the dark path, sort of thing. I use Netflix. Yeah, I use Netflix. I love Netflix, as in a sense. I'm not saying I like the entity of it, because they do try and put things out, but I'll see things like the film that I chucked out last night was Fast Colour. Brilliant. Talking about the energies, talking about the indigenous, talking about well, I don't want to spoil it too much because it's brand new and it only came out yesterday. So, but if you can see what I can see, what's going on in that film, you can see it. Some people can't see it, but it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Entities are like the government, are like this, that, and the other. It doesn't mean the gov's bad. It just got taken over, and that the soul of it was turning greedy. We can turn that back and have good things. Like people go on about money. Money is an entity, living, breathing thing. It's an energy exchange, so it doesn't have to be for a greedy exchange. Like, for example, when someone's giving to, a coffee donation or someone's channel, people go, oh, it's money, it's rootful. It's just an energy exchange. See it like that. Everything's energy, but it's how you use it. It's your intentions. Keep banging on about that as well. So, but the hi to everyone on chat. Sorry, I'm just in the flow. Is please go and watch SGT report and the last couple of ones that they've done, because it is about cutting cycles, and this is what I keep banging on about, because this is what people have got to do before all this really nasty stuff comes out for people. It's going to set them off. Triggers, that's why we get triggered, of things that have happened in their life, maybe things that they've buried, traumas, abuse, and then you're going to set you off. They want you mad, so you need to go within to calm yourself and come back to center to know that those things that triggered you don't need to trigger you. It doesn't define who you are. Nothing of that defines who you are. So I see it as a very, very important lesson. And cutting the cycles is very, very important. And the guy that I'm going to shout out tonight on the channel about channeling, source through him, something about it when he went for a scan in his head, they realised there was like a gap. I don't mean a gap in his head, but he said, they were like, you've got grey matter coming through where this is supposed to be. We don't understand. He went, maybe it's because I've been channeling God. And it means create a source, because the light does come through your crown chakra. I'm seeing the light. Some people might think I'm off my head, and then it goes through us so we can heal people. So even with the vibration of how I'm talking to you on my channel can heal, it can be done through the internet. It doesn't matter that you're in America and I'm over here, we can still do it. And it also can be for people that you are near, and you can heal. It's energy healing. So don't know if that makes sense to anyone, but it totally makes sense to me. So like I said, please go and check SGT report. Even if you're not into it, just sit back and listen. I'm cleaning and listening to stuff, but this is all the stuff that was to do with Q. Some people poo-hoo that, but at the end of the day, quantum, the end of the day, when you look back in the past, you can start fixing your future energies, because now when you look back at the Q drops back in the past, look what's happening now. That's how we do it. That's how they know you can come into different cycle in the new cycles that are coming up, to transmute what happened before. So if you had a really bad year in whatever year, you can transmute it for when that year comes up, because they all correlate to years in the past coming up now. I'll show you that tonight and shout someone else's channel out that a lot of you will know. And when we start to see how to do this, it becomes easier. So no, I know you lot know I'm not off my head, but if there's anyone new in thinking, what's going on about? American here. Hi all. Hi Maggie. Yeah, there's a lot of Americans in here. So thanks for all coming in. I was only going to jump on for 5 minutes. And hopefully I'll see you all tonight at 9 o'clock, because that's the time for the Divine Feminine. So no wonder I was like, come on at 9. And the 7 thumbs up. So thanks for everyone coming in. Shout out to Alison, Alchemy of Life, Mark, Dave, Revolution Revisited. Who else is in? James, Mary, Miss Q, Danny, Kath, Roxanne, Welsh Babe. Who else was down here? Where's she gone? Angelica, check her channel out. She did a great interview with Laura Eisenhower, King, JP. Maggie. Anyone else might be watching after, and I'll see you later. Bye.